Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. The Weather Bureau says heavy rain, which again lashed the Hunter region overnight, is set to ease this afternoon for a mostly sunny Saturday. Many parts of Newcastle, Lake Macquarie and Port Stephens had falls in excess of 100 millimetres since 9 a.m. yesterday, with Mandalong topping the list with 153. Many local roads are closed due to flash flooding. The live traffic website and local council Facebook pages have the latest updates. More than 40 flood warnings are still current for the region, and the SES says overnight rain will further impact river levels. Steve Edmonds from the SES has told the ABC roads can still be dangerous despite heavy rain easing and moving south.
We've had almost 1,000 incidents in the northern zone in the last 24 hours and, almost 177 flood rescues. So it's certainly very wet out there. If people do come across a flooded road or they see some flash flooding, just turn around and find an alternative route. We don't want to see any more rescues if we can avoid those.
Major flooding is possible at Bulga this morning, with moderate flooding possible at Wollombi and Maitland from this afternoon. The University of Newcastle says its Ourimbah campus is closed today due to flooding nearby. All other campuses will stay open. Meanwhile, a disaster recovery allowance of up to 13 weeks is available. Federal Emergency Management Minister Christy McBain says it will help people unable to work due to flooding.
Just enacted the disaster recovery allowance, which will focus initially on 4 local government areas: Kempsey, Port Macquarie, Dungog and the Mid-Coast Council area.
To other news, Newcastle Council has released the full report into its processes, procedures and performance. Davidson Business Advisory presented a summary of its findings to Council and the public at a briefing earlier this month. The full report will be considered at next Tuesday's Council meeting. The company says the review confirms Newcastle Council is well managed and a high-performing organisation. More than 800 public submissions from 548 individuals were considered during the review, and 20 recommendations to improve current processes and procedures were made. A University of Newcastle professor is being recognised for his contribution to engineering. Emeritus Professor Rick Middleton is being awarded with a fellowship from the Australian Academy of Science for working with telecommunications giants. Professor Middleton says his work has developed from an interest in applied mathematics.
I think it started in my undergraduate days. I sort of had this mix of loving the mathematics and the applied mathematics, but also loving the application. And this area of systems and control does have a lot of mathematics behind it. My thesis was on a thing called adaptive control, where we had computers controlling a certain system.
Organisers behind the Newcastle Writers' Festival say the state government's provided a much-needed lifeline to keep the event going. A $730,000 funding injection will allow organisers to expand the program into classrooms, mentoring some students in their writing in coming years. Vice President Rosemary Milsom says it will provide certainty.
Well, that $245,000 is actually annual for 3 years, so it's over $700,000 in total funding, which is quite extraordinary. And this comes after more than a decade of having to do annual applications, so every year wondering if we'll get the funding, wondering if we'll be able to go ahead the next year.
2NURFM Sport.
The Knights will look to take the chance against a depleted Panthers side when they play in Bathurst tomorrow. With the club having experience in turning their season around, Coach Adam O'Brien says his team knows what they need to do to break their 16-game hoodoo against Penrith.
That's all we're focused on, making sure that we're giving ourselves a chance to win footy games, and we've shown in the past that we can get on a roll once we start.
Meanwhile, Knights women's second rower Yasmin Clydesdale is remaining focused for next Thursday's Origin Game 3, despite flooding affecting her property near Scone. The Blues have their final gym session in Sydney today, before moving their camp to Newcastle as they look to clinch the first 3-match sweep. And Hunter Rugby Union will be aiming to get 3 women's matches to go ahead this weekend in Scone, as extreme weather has caused several codes to postpone this weekend's rounds. AFL Hunter Central Coast are also assessing options for their matches to possibly go ahead. That's sport. I'm Jessie Dennett.
And the winning numbers in Powerball are 3, 8, 19, 21, 26, 28 and 30, and the Powerball is 20. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.